God show me the way because
you know how Steppin with Marcus J. Definitely glad you guys are staying with us. Thank you in social media. We see y'all out there. We see the lights on TuneIn and Lounge City, Mixer, Law Legacy, internetradio.com. You're listening to Ain't No How Steppin with Marcus J, the flagship show here. Live in the den of LegacyInternetRadio.com. Be down with us by phone at 804-402-2893. Or continue to hit us up in social media. Hit us up on our personal pages, on our fan pages. Any number of ways to be a part of the show. It's time for Big Rube to lead us in his segment we like to call the round table. Big Rube, the floor is yours, my brother. What you got?
First of all, I would like to give the parents about 20 seconds to kick their kids out the room. We going a little rated R today. So you got to kick kids out the room for a little bit. Just for a little bit.
I like rated R.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to cross my legs. Keep myself together.
Well,
yes.
Damn it, 20 seconds. If the kids are still there, then damn it, they going to hear shit.
I mean, you know.
I gave him 30. Shit, damn it.
Yeah, you did. I'm not going that far. Man, what are you doing over there?
I'm trying to copy off his paper.
You can't do that, sir. Can't do that. All right. First thing we'll talk about today. As we're talking about Halloween costumes, I'm pretty sure everybody saw the one with the young lady who dressed up as a as a Boston runner who I guess died. He had blood all over herself or whatnot. And, you know, that's not the issue. However, it's funny how people are just so strong and so mean and nasty behind a keyboard. You know, I have officially named these people text message gangsters, but you know, I have to amend that simply because that, you know, people are doing it from a keyboard now. Now I didn't give you this term, but real talk, it's a whole bunch of cyber bullies out there, and we sit here and kids are dying because they can't handle what people write on a computer, and it's you know, I'd rather just get my ass beat, you know, and go to school the next day than get on a computer these days and, you know, somebody call my mama a fat piece of dog crap and it makes me want to cry and stuff. I mean, I don't be understanding, you know, and I guess my question is, I'll start with JR first. What is going on, man, when words can hurt you and want to drive you to just go jump off a building or make you go mental? What is up? And then you can call and you can hit the Facebook account. What's the phone number? 804-402-2893. We getting a hit in social media, Joe. We see your comments out there, but I want to give Lissa P some love. Joy loves you, by the way. She thinks you so funny. And that's why they call her Comedian-ness Lissa P.
Joy. Make sure you listen on Wednesdays. I'm the only one who promote for us, so you probably don't know about me for real. But I love you though, Joy. Thank you.
We just took a shot at Jay Grizzy. Damn it, I take a shot at Jay Grizzy. I take a shot at him and whatnot. So, but JR, Big Rube was asking you a question.
I call them e-thugs. You know what I'm saying? They get behind the keyboard and they spout off with mouth. And as far as the people who want to go do bodily harm to themselves because of said statements or comments, kind of goes back to the Incognito fella, the Martin fella. Like, you know, you got to be tougher than that. Like, if you ain't, I go by this. If you ain't got the balls to say it to my face, then you ain't said it. Because we both know what's going to happen if you come say it to me. I got a couple of people, matter of fact, that you remember the Dave Chappelle skit when a dude, he went and practiced martial arts just for the sole purpose of using it on people? That's not necessarily me on the martial arts aspect of it, but I got a couple of people I am waiting. I want you to say something. I just want you to say something that gives me the green light.
You wish a motherfucker would
to get that ass. Like I want you to, because to me, being on a computer and doing all that ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I play online games too. If people get on the headset, I tell them straight up. I'm like, you ain't said nothing to me. Yeah. Because I tell you where I live at. We could do it for real. So all that to be said, like, man. That e-thugging is nothing.
I mean, I got you, man. And you know the crazy part, JR? It ain't even about being tough. It's about being a man. And you don't get to talk shit about me in any kind of way other than to my face. Straight up. I got you.
They trying to be on when keeping it real goes wrong. They trying. They definitely like. We need to bring Dave Chappelle back. I'm gonna make up some T-shirts.
Oh my God,
Okay.
Comedian S.
Okay, JR, can I ask you a personal question? I mean, I know you're not supposed to ask women. How old are you?
31.
Okay, and this may be personal as well. Did you grow up with both of your parents in the household?
I did.
Okay, so now do you all feel like that there are more single parent homes now than there was back in the day? Because I feel like there were less suicides and more people putting up their dukes when there were more mother, daddy in the house. Now that it's going towards mama raising the boys and the daddy raising the girls, is most shit people jumping off towers, blowing up their heads because they don't have anybody to look up to.
I would dare say, and I think I might be reaching here, it's probably close to 50% as far as the kids who are killing themselves that actually have two parents in the home. Right. I will. For some reason, I feel very positive that it's close to probably half, if not more. It's just these kids, and I'm not. Yeah, F it. The parents aren't showing enough attention to the kids, so the kids ain't learning how to do nothing until they're faced with it. It's one thing to, I went to school. I got my ass kicked a couple times. I got bullied. Hell, I got choked out in school. I mean, straight up, I got choked out. And you know what my mother told me? My mother told me when something happens to you, you go tell an adult. There are other people who will tell their kids, if somebody hit you, you need to go take care of that. Right then and there, and that's cool. Either way, it's fine.
But what's that called now today? Snitching. People get killed for that now. See, back in the day, you were supposed to go tell, and it'll be fine, and everybody will be okay. Everybody be playing on the playground by next week. But now they'll come and look for you, and they'll kill you.
But see,
this is a new day and age. That stuff is not real anymore.
The problem that I see here is, and it started when I was coming through, because I got this a lot. When my mom would tell me, look, if somebody look like they gonna hit you, you hit them first.
I bet you your mama won't tell you that now.
I bet you she would.
Well,
I remember my mom going to the school
belts,
for my brother broke this kid's nose, right? So I remember my mom going to the school. He's in high school. She going to the school, and the principal was saying, well, he should have waited for somebody to come and blah, 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 whatever. So my mom told the principal, so if I come across this desk right now and hit you in your face, you mean to tell me you just going to sit there and let me pound on you until somebody comes? That's what they want you to do. They want you to take the ass whooping until, like, a resource officer or somebody comes. That's not cutting it. To me, since George Bush was in the office, I call it the George Bush approach. George Bush wanted to be preemptive and go in Iraq. So I'm going to preemptively whoop that ass, because ain't nobody gonna get the idea that they're gonna come at me with any kind of BS. And this stuff on the internet and people killing themselves about it is because the parents are letting the internet raise them.
But JR, you're missing the point that nobody's fighting anymore, sugar. I understand that.
I understand you got stacks. I understand.
Look, I understand you got racks on racks on racks belts. Okay, I understand that you blacking it. Black and Chang. I got all of that, but nobody's doing that anymore, yo. You kick your leg up, somebody's gonna shoot it off. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get to the gun first.
But I'm just saying. But for those who can't fight like you, JR, what about that? What about them? You know what I'm saying? That's easy talk.
You still gotta stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for you. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, you can run, but what's killing yourself gonna do? What's killing you? You gonna run and kill yourself? Like, nah, I can't do that. I mean, if you gonna run and kill yourself, then you might as well just dive in. You know what I'm saying? And let the person shoot you if you're going to go kill yourself over it.
All right, Mr. LP.
When you kill yourself, you actually letting them win. You think that you're winning and you're saving yourself. You're not. You're killing you're letting that other person win, and you're killing your family. Two things is leading towards what my grandmother said. Never give anybody that remote to your life, where they can press a button and make yourself to do everything wrong. Now, I'm guilty. We're all guilty, and sometimes we fall short. I'll be the first to admit that. But overall, never let anybody have that remote to your life or anything else. The third thing, I'm going to give you a small anecdote to make you laugh. I was like 2 years old, maybe 3, and this little 4 or 5 year, no, I'm sorry, he was 6, what grandma said. And he kept messing with me, pushing me to take my cars or whatever. I didn't cry, and then I went back in, and the girl said, "Where's your car?" She said, "Grandma, this kid was messing with me." She said, "Don't let that kid take your stuff." Next day, I went back outside. He took my robot. My grandma just brought it for me and everything. I don't know what came over me. I whipped that, Lord forgive me, I whipped that man's ass.
I bet you did.
And on top of all that, to the point where I was smashing it and everything else, to the point I put that boy in the hospital. And everything else, because it was just like, it was just a rage. I just got tired of it for so long.
Oh, and you was how old then?
I was 3, he was 6.
And how old are you now? Jesus, don't want to see that range.
But no.
The only thing I just want to say really quick is for real. These kids now, they're so fast. You know, these girls are doing things that they feel like they're gonna get a boyfriend or be popular. So then when it gets to the point where these things start going on the internet and Facebook, which these kids don't understand the danger of, and then you see these young girls who see themselves out there and they're getting talked about, that's enough to bring anybody down. I don't know how it is with the fellas as far as being bullied. Shout out to Mr. Martin from the Dolphins. But for girls, I mean, just imagine if you're a chick or your daughter, she was doing it with some guy and somebody videotaped her, and then next thing you know, it's all over Facebook and it's never going to go away. You know what I'm saying? So how is your daughter going to deal with that? Or how are you going to talk her from that? And I don't know when you get into fatherhood, but if your daughter unfortunately just got into that fast life, wanted to be with a boy, and they recorded her and put her business out on Facebook, and it was over the whole school, what would you do?
Secretly recorded. I've had kids I worked at the rape crisis center, and I've had a child kill themselves over something like that.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's there, yo. It's there.
Now, I just got some nice information. Back to the percentages. 63% of children who kill themselves are from single parent families. Now, that could completely, verify what your thought was, Alyssa P. I guess my thing is like, I hear what you're saying about all that, but, I don't know. I didn't grow up in a single parent family, so it is what it is. I can't speak on that.
Michelle K. Robinson is saying that she was raised by a single parent, but was taught to stand up for herself. And I'll say this.
How old is she?
I came from a 2-parent household, and in my neighborhood, I was probably the only kid who did. My entire immediate circle, as I was growing up, I was the only one who had my father in the house. And I don't want to say none of us killed ourselves, because none of us really did kill ourselves. But I do agree that it's a different time now than it was before, because I fought. You know what I mean? I was a small child, but I was forced to fight, and I fought. I won some fights, I lost some fights. But now, you just don't see kids wanting to throw their hands up, man. They so quick to want to pull the trigger or all that kind. The worst thing that could happen when we was coming up is you might get cut. Somebody might get cut or something like that.
But cut from what? From them throwing you down on the concrete?
No, cut
That's
from
it.
like a blade. No, like.
Oh God, where y'all from? We didn't do that in Chesterfield.
You might get cut. Back where I was growing up in Jersey City, New Jersey, but but now, I mean, you got, not only do you have, I think you know what it is. It's a culture of punkism. You got a bunch of punk ass kids who don't want to say nothing to your face, like you was alluding to, JR. They'll say something in social media, or they'll say something behind your back, and then you get mad because you a punk too. Instead of stepping to them, you'll run up behind them and shoot them in the back. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's kind of how this is now. Yeah. And so I don't get it. I would much rather get my ass beat than get my life taken. And that's real talk, Ruben.
And the interesting part about it, obviously, we have these adults who still think they're children. Like the chick who dressed up as the Boston Marathon bombed person or whatever. She got death threats. Real talk. Somebody gave you a death threat because you dressed up as somebody who's dead. So I'm going to come kill you now, so you can see how it feels. Yeah, she lost her job and stuff. I'm just like, hold on, man. So you telling me that's not even a racial thing, but you lost your job because people complained so much, and they said death threats. I don't know about y'all. Last time I checked, death threats are kind of against the law. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was against the law. But once again, the cyberbullying, you know, it's not just with kids on kids, it's adults on adults. I mean, yeah, she made one bad decision. Now her life could be ruined. Maybe she might jump off building now because we had a whole bunch of stupid ass adults who got on the computers like, "You're a piece of shit. Blah, how could you do that? I hope you die. I hope you go freaking jump off a building. Blee 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 blee." I mean, and then they even because they found out who she was. How about they called her family, yo? They called her peeps and be like, "Yo, we'll kill you because your daughter's stupid." Really? You know. That's what, at that point in time, there are just sometimes where, as much as people don't believe in the law, you gotta go to the law.
Right.
I mean, because that's just, to me, that's too far. And I just think it's interesting that, you know, we got adults doing the stupid shit now. Thanks. Let's regress to children now. I mean, think about that, people, before y'all do something else. All right. Second thing. This is a little bit more entertaining, you know. Sat hanging out with Marcus J the other day, and then I look at TV on Saturdays and stuff. Ain't no cartoons on TV no more. I mean, now they have live action TV shows that I really could care less about. But the kids of the day are looking at that and not looking at, you know, how bills maybe or suffrage and stuff like that. So, I mean, I want to hear some opinions out there. What's going on? Why are there not any more cartoons that at least kind of educated kids? But now you're dealing with these stupid TV shows about kids that are teaching kids how to act in high school and whatnot. I mean, I understand Saved by the Bell was probably our generation, Marcus J. But real talk, we still had like at least He-Man and stuff.
Right, well, the reason why is because they don't want kids to be smart. They don't want kids to be smart because smart kids grow up to be smart adults who question authority. People who question authority question status quo. People who question status quo question the way things are running. People who question the way things are running can mess your stuff up. And so if you continue to have a generation of people not so smart, what are those people going to do? They're going to be in poverty, and people in poverty are desperate. So desperate people commit crimes. People who commit crimes end up in jail. People who end up in jail are subject to the amendment that says that when you're in jail, you get to be a slave again. So if you get to be a slave again, you get to have cheap labor. And if you get to have cheap labor, you get to get paid nothing to make big business real rich. And if you get to make big business real rich, poor remains poor and rich get real rich, which is the reason why the middle class is getting smaller, the lower class is getting bigger, and the upper class is getting bigger. Why are the two end classes getting bigger? Because the middle class is dissipating. And some are going this way, and some are going that way. You do not want, you can't have rich people getting rich unless you get poor people being poor. And so to kind of put a bow on my point, you are not going to see the powers that be consciously try to educate and validate the youth because it's not in their interest to do that. Because rich people can't get rich with a whole generation of people questioning what the hell they doing. Can't do it. That's why.
Dude, what you were speaking on is the wealth gap, which is, I'm looking to do a show on that very soon. But to answer your question, there is cartoons and there is things. They're just on different mediums. And as a person who, I guess, just keeps up with research and stuff, there's a lot. There's a lot of specials and things on Saturday morning. They're just on ABC Family and some other channels. There's a lot of stuff on Sprout. There are tons of education things online, okay, that you can see. Now, the question they may say is, unfortunately, I think the statistics, almost 70% of African American homes use their cell phones more than their computers. Okay, fine. But there's tons of education, not just playing quote unquote games. There's tons. PBS Kids, Discovery Kids, just to name a few, Fun Brain, a bunch of different things. But we do not encourage or push our kids to do those different things anymore. We'll let them watch those other shows, wrestling or just whatever. Not saying the wrestling bad because I grew up on wrestling. Okay, so I'm a Coco Beware. Just want to make sure. I had to clarify myself before you kill me. But the thing is just that there's a lot of stuff out there for them, but they do not want to offer that balance. We grew up in the thing of we watched all these different things. Heck, I watched Playboy as early as I was 2 or 3 years old. I'll put it out there. Yes, I did. You know why? Because I grew up in the hood.
You watched Playboy as a 2-year-old. You gonna blame it on growing up in the hood?
No. I didn't. Let me finish the sentence.
Yeah,
I grew up.
do.
Okay, I grew up in the hood with babysitting was you sitting around with people doing crack or cocaine and everything else. I chose not to. Yes. And everything else. But I chose to read a book. I chose to read a dictionary. I did a lot of things. No, I ain't never just read a dictionary.
And who are these babysitters, man?
No, but there's people who was out there. So, hang out with Steve. Yeah, I did all those things up north and everything else. But you make a choice. They did not. It was the old thing. You're not going to do this. Take this book and go sit over there while we pop a. All
right, let me stop you, man, because I can't hear this no more. You sitting there and you gonna sit there and tell me with a straight face that you was looking at Playboy as a 2 or 3-year-old. You gonna blame it on growing up in the hood?
No. I wasn't blaming. No. You misunderstand.
And the babysitter.
No, I'm talking about that. I'm not saying here blaming. I'm saying.
I'm giving you the rock eye right now.
No.
The raised eyebrow.
You're misunderstanding.
Please make the point, then I'll shut up and let you make the point if I'm missing it.
My point was that there's a lot. We saw good and bad things would go around. It's just that what you choose and who's around you choose to push you towards that direction. Sorry to use you as a prop, but it's just versus to come over here and come to this side. That's my point. And it's saying that I could have choose to let that influence me and do.
I want to talk about you and what you said. I don't want to talk about no general and none of that kind of stuff.
I was using.
So
my
you,
life.
as Mr. LP Steven, had a babysitter as a 2-year-old that had you looking at Playboy and they smoked crack in the house.
While they were doing crack.
Yes.
They didn't have crack when you was a 2-year-old, man.
Man, we had a whole.
You had crack when you was a 2-year-old.
No,
I know how old you are.
Nino,
You do. I know how old you are.
Yeah, I did not. Excuse me, I did not touch this stuff. No, that's what you're thinking.
No, that's not what I'm thinking. What I'm questioning is the validity of the story because crack didn't come around when you was 2.
Man, crack, cocaine.
All right, I don't want to talk about this no more.
Seriously,
jump in. I think I made my point.
Look, can I add?
I can call family for help if you want.
The only thing I want to add here is they don't make the educational programming that you see on, say, a Sprout or a Nick Jr. or something like that. They don't make that to appeal to a larger age gap. It's kind of like we want your child to be smart. We want your child to learn how to read and all that other stuff. But then after that, we just want to fill them with a bunch of violence. And they don't make a lot of those programming that appeals to older children.
And I'm gonna challenge the fact that y'all said there's educational programming on Sprout and PBS Junior because Yo Gabba Gabba is not educational at all.
And all Caillou do is whine.
No, Caillou.
Oh my God!
I want to punch Caillou right in his forehead if he was grown.
And Sesame Street still comes on, man.
All he do is whine.
And they brought education.
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. As far as the educational programming, I hear where y'all going, but the fact that y'all reaching is kind of making the point that Ruben is bringing up. The fact of the matter is, when we was coming up, when we came home from school every single day on ABC, and wherever you was, there was an ABC. It was Channel 7 in Jersey where I grew up, Channel 8 here. You had the after school specials.
With the little kitty cat.
You had the after school specials, and oftentimes they got like the young people who was on like primetime TV shows in they free time. They used to do these little movies,
like an hour and a half.
You get Scott Baio or Gary Coleman or somebody to do these shows. So you had it. It was on network television, and all of this about going to Sprout and going to your social media and all of that kind of stuff. The truth of the matter is, you got to go looking for it, whereas before it was there. Yeah, it was there because the money was there. The money was there because it was important to them. Now it's not important to them to put money in places so that their kids can have access to this kind of stuff.
But you know, it speaks to what's important because growing up, I didn't see cable until about 5th or 6th grade. So all I had was here. It was 6, 8, 12, 23, and 35.
Yep.
So you had what was it was either the Schoolhouse Rock, the 1, 2, 3 Contact junk.
Yeah.
It was
The
those
Electric
joints.
Company.
Or you would turn to Channel 35 and watch Captain Kirk, or stuff like that. You know, or you had they had on Channel 35 to turn to Fox later. It was the Sunday afternoon movie they had on Sundays.
Yep.
You didn't see martial arts on Saturday?
That's what we had back home. We had
You didn't see martial arts?
3 o'clock, 5.
Oh, what was
No,
WPIX Channel 11?
I didn't see that. Like, but you know, you had your regular Saturday morning cartoon lineups. But now you got like 400 or 500 some channels to go to. Back then, most of us had that. But you know, parents nowadays.
But the quality on those, but the quality back in
cable.
the day on those 3 or 4 channels way outweighs the crap that's on TV now. I watch Saturday morning cartoon. You know what I watch? I watch Vortex. I watch freaking the Spectacular Spider-Man. I watch Justice League.
Crap.
I watch
Justice League's good.
I watch Dragon Ball Z, and then I can't watch that Yu-Gi-Oh crap because it's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really, there's no educational value on any of that television I watch on Saturday.
But you know, I would say,
Actually, no,
what was
Justice
educational
League.
about
I'm sorry.
Transformers?
There's no
or-
educational value in the Justice League.
Yes, there is. There's
Man,
a lot.
whatever. You're not
You
gonna
need to know
debate
that-
me on this
First
shit.
of all, you need to understand Cucurio Test Cruzio. You know what? Who watches the Watchers?
I don't give a
you need
damn,
to
man.
understand
If I'm
the
5
jokes
years
and
old,
stuff like-
I'm looking at people fighting.
When you watch that,
Right,
stuff, you
and
need to
we watch
understand the
G.I.
history
Joe,
of that.
people
You need
fighting.
to understand the history behind all those things. Didn't you watch when you brought up G.I. Joe? Did you watch all those different towns and locations they went to? Didn't you look those places up?
Man, hell no.
I ain't caring about that. I cared about seeing what was behind Cobra
I want to
Mask,
see the
to be
I want to
honest
see the blue and red lasers hit nobody, blow up some tanks, and hit a plane, and it falls and nobody dies. Now the Justice League, people die, people get shot in the face. Is not cool. You're not gonna sit here and just justify the Justice League as positive kid entertainment because it's not.
There's a lot of
It is
historical
not.
things
F
to Justice
that.
League.
It is not positive kid entertainment.
When they did the stuff with the Blackhawks and everything else, you know what
I
that
don't-
made me go back and remember? Go back, look at the Black Squadrons and also everything else back
Man,
during
the
war.
Blackhawks was a comic book that it was a comic book, and that had nothing to
But
do with the
now-
Tuskegee
but now-
Airmen.
Or actually, no, but now, who started the writing the Blackhawks? Mr.
What are we
William
even
Johnson.
talking about?
Who started
It doesn't
the
matter.
comic
Your
book,
average-
who was a black writer.
Mr. LP, your average child does not know this. Simple as that.
But
No, they don't.
Okay, but the
They
thing
don't.
Is, they
No, they don't.
They do not. But
And they're not going
opportunity
to.
is. But
They're not going
that's
to.
why we need more
You
fathers
put
like this
way,
to push them to
you
them.
put way too much faith in the fact that a kid's gonna go look at something on TV and go to the internet and find out what it is.
Yeah, this
They're
ain't
not
the
gonna do
Cosby
that. Yo Gabba Gabba could be the worst piece of ass on television. If I
I
gotta
agree
see
with you
that
on that.
stupid DJ but look stupid and do nothing, all they do is dance. It's the worst. And
I've never watched it
SpongeBob is
ever.
horrible, man. That's the worst.
SpongeBob is this decade's Bugs Bunny. That show is horrible
it's
too.
not. No.
It's this decade's Scooby Doo. You don't think the dude that made SpongeBob was high as hell? Yeah. I mean, the dude doesn't. SpongeBob doesn't wear a shirt, and every once in a while he does drop his drawers. Really? That's good kid entertainment, man. You're not gonna get. I'm not gonna give you any of that. Because
instead of old
kids
shit,
are
he
kids.
says old tartar sauce, and you know what I'm saying. They get kids. They focus kids to fix them and start cussing.
The biggest problem is you have people today who don't know how a bill is made because they didn't watch the Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill.
Sitting on Capitol.
Well, that's
Yeah.
about to be irrelevant anyway. The way they go.
But I mean, but what I'm saying is, it ain't shit on television for kids except to stupidity and live action TV to tell kids how you supposed to act in high school, and that's false. Not only is there nothing on television, though, but they're not teaching stuff in school like they used to. They don't teach kids civics. That's why you get people who say stuff like the congressman that said that there's 4 branches of freaking government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't teach civics.
Wow.
You know what they do is they teach you how to take a test. You know, instead
Yes.
of teaching you the actual concepts that you're gonna need to know, you don't learn how to, do a checkbook. You know, some people actually still write checks. They don't have home economics anymore. You don't have wood shop classes that I remember actually
So you don't
taking.
learn a trade.
So you don't learn a trade and things of that sort. So, I mean, it's not just television. It's kind of like what I said. It's the fact of the matter is you got all of this money that you can figure out where to get it from when you want to go to war with somebody, but you can't figure out how you can put that money into education. You got all of this money in Philadelphia when you want to build a school, a jail, but you can't figure out how to keep 30 schools from closing. Come on, man. It's not a coincidence. It's a plan, okay? So we need to pay attention to what's going on. Quit making excuses for these people, and we need to be the ones that take care of our own communities.
Keep telling
Invest
them. Conspiracy.
in us, too. Invest in us, too. I put it out there. Ain't nobody paying attention to it. So when we have these conversations where we complain about shit that's going on, I'm kind of looking with the rock eye, with the raised eyebrow, like, what you going to do? We going to talk or we going to do? It's really that simple. We going to talk or we going to do? Because I'm tired of talking. I donated my money personally, and every single person in this room got the email. And I'm not calling nobody out, but every single person in this room got the email that I sent. And every single person that's listening to Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J right now, you heard me say it last week, and you hearing me say it now. What you gonna do? You gonna talk? You gonna listen to the talk radio and go, yo, he's so right, and then turn shit off and go back to watching Sleepy Hollow, whatever else is on TV right now? Or you gonna do? I mean, it really is that simple. We either gonna talk or we gonna do. If we not gonna do, then what are we talking about here? Really?
We can talk about Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and Green Bay is winning 10-7.
Oh, okay.
Chicago stinks, and
Hold
Aaron
on, I'm
Rodgers
gonna
is
line you
out
up
the
a
game
little
right
bit.
now.
But let me just say this really quick on back to your
'Cause I got the
original
game
question.
on in the studio right now.
As far as the cartoons, number one, I blame antenna TV because, of course, anybody who didn't have cable, you could still watch antenna TV and watch PBS, like you said. Things that still come on as far as the electric company whatever time it comes on. And also, you have to blame it on electronics these days. Kids aren't watching TV. They're so much into their games. Kids don't even play outside like they used to. So, I mean, I feel like that the networks, of course, are losing because you have to have viewers. And if the kids aren't watching TV for the cartoons and they're just playing video games, then of course they're not going to put them on TV. So while if you're losing money, that's just like, I mean, if a radio show is not doing well, if you're not getting enough, viewers, you're going to get pulled off. So if these cartoons aren't getting watched by these kids that they feel like, I mean, parents now that have these electronics know what else they can do to entertain their child instead of sending them in front of the TV watching Saturday morning cartoons. So
A lot of it has to do with marketing, though.
Yep.
Because if the people who are in control of making sure that the masses know where to find these things don't want the masses to find these things, they're not going to put the time, effort, and money into making sure that the people know where this stuff is at. So I agree with you. Instead of, doing that, they're not going to do it at all. And so what's the kids going to do? They're going to spend their time playing video games. You know why? Because that's what they see on television. They get Grand Theft Auto 5 marketed to them and Battlefield 4 marketed to them and all of that kind of stuff. And nobody wants to pay attention to what's really important.
I mean, and too, if you also look at the commercials for the toys, you don't see commercial for toys anymore like you used to see G.I. Joe and around Christmas time, My Little Pony and Cabbage Patch Kids. You don't see all that. Now it's time to get this video game or get this iPad or get this PlayStation game or get this computer. It's nothing like, buy Leapfrog, nothing like that. So whatever, it's technology. People are going that.
Kids, parents, educate your kids. Tell them to learn something. Now, you know what? I think we're done tonight. We hit some stuff real hard, and I think we're done tonight. Next week we'll come back with a new roundtable.
Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. We get ready to take our final break of the night, and when we come back, we got our rants, we got our closings, and we're gonna get out of here. I got Big Rue, Mr. LP, Steven Sykes, JR, and comedian Lissa P in the building with me here tonight.
Rizzy, you better be promoting. All this time I've been on here, you better be promoting.
You got it. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. Be back in a minute.